Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Ishwara's Take. This is my assessment on the world events that are happening right now. So, what's happening in India? I know in the last few videos I've covered those things that are happening between India and US. I've actually decided to shift my focus from US to India. Exactly what kind of business is pouring, what kind of business is actually pouring into India, which are those companies which are trying to set up their global capability centers and start new offices and create more production in India. That's my focus going to be for the next few months, right? So the first thing that I'm noticing is that if you look at these companies like Samsung, Xiaomi, OnePlus, Oppo, Vivo phones. So what's common among all these things? I know all these are like smartphones, but what's so common about them? So one common factor is that all these are smartphones and they all have a semiconductor within them. And this particular semiconductor chip, right, that is produced by this company called MediaTek, MEDIATEK. So that's a Taiwanese-based, semiconductor giant in the world. It is the largest producer of chipsets in the world, right? If you see the number of sales that are happening for all these smartphones and many other electronic products in India and outside India, and if you compare them, if you group these companies like Samsung, Xiaomi, all of them put together, right, the number of sales are huge, and the producer for the chipsets for all these companies is the Taiwanese-based company, which is called as MediaTek, right? Now, MediaTek also produces some of their chips from India in a fabless way, which means that they really don't own any factory here in India, but there are already a few semiconductor manufacturing factories in the country in India, and they give contract to these companies like outsourcing model, and they provide the design and the configuration and the make and out of it, like what's going to be the design, what's going to be the configuration, and how should the final chip or the design should be implemented, and how should the product come out, right? So they give all these specifications and they outsource that to companies in India, and they have been generating certain part of their revenue from these fabless production. And this is not the only company which does in similar way, like fabless way. There are other companies like Nvidia, named Qualcomm. That's also another company which is a semiconductor company that produces these semiconductors in a fabless way. So what is a new thing that is happening with this MediaTek is that they have they've announced in the New Delhi office, that they are going to make their semiconductors in the production houses that are owned by them, which means that they are going to go from fabless to fab production, which means that they are going to have their own production houses, their own factories. They're going to set up factories. I don't know where they're setting factory in the entire country. Usually it is by a riverside, or where it's easy to set up, with this less pollution for the people. But where they are setting up, that I don't know. I'm still investigating or working on that. As I get the details, I'm going to post some videos on that. But the good thing is that they've recently announced that they are going forward. They're fully ready to actually set up their manufacturing units in India. And there's also a proper reason for that, because there's a growing middle class and an upper middle class in the country. And with the growing number in that particular class, right, in the middle and upper middle class, there are, of course, a lot of demands for accessibility, demands for comfort, demands for a lot of other things like home automation and many other things, right? So every electronic device again needs a semiconductor. So yeah, we have a large business in India. There's a number. If you see the smartphone business in India, that's like growing like the fastest in the world, right? So of course there are other countries as well, but India is the fastest growing business market for a lot of companies in the world, right? So they are setting up their manufacturing unit in India. So that's good news. Something on the similar lines, if you've heard of this particular company called, it's a British UK based company, it's called as Graphcore, right? So it's a subsidiary of another large bank or a group called as SoftBank Group, right, which is also UK based, right, or Europe based, right? So they are also setting up their global capability centers in India, right? And as a start for that, they're already having a head start there. They have started a AI based semiconductor campus, and they are projecting to provide about 500 jobs in the next 1 year. And they have also announced that they're going to invest about 1.3 billion dollars, which is approximately 1 billion pound, to have more and more effective business in India, right? So good thing there as well is that they are not really at the talking level; they're actually doing the job, which means that the rollout for the first recruitment of 100 people, right, of the 500 promised jobs or the 500 projected jobs, that has already started. So they are recruiting right now. So it's going to be mostly AI driven, data driven, right? So that's the update that I have for the different semiconductor business that are pouring into India. First is, of course, the Taiwanese semiconductor giant, that's MediaTek, that's stepping into India with their own fab production, right? Second is Graphcore, that's already stepped into India, and that's building their global capability center in the semiconductor AI business, right? I know there are other things that are happening, like there are about TCS has just announced that they have laid off around 20,000 employees in the last quarter. That's like I think from last quarter they were about 6.66 lakhs and about 10,000 employees. Right now they are about approximately 5 lakh and 90,000 employees. They have announced in the beginning of the year that they are going to remove a lot of people working on the roles, especially at the mid-level and the senior mid-level, because the jobs have become redundant and their focus has increased from whatever that they're doing to ITs, to AI, to data and cybersecurity side. But I know that that's going to impact a lot of employees, a lot of people, their livelihood and their families. But TCS also announced that it's not that they're just laying off people. They have spent a lot of money and they're gone above industry or market standards to provide their funds in the form of severance. The severance packages that they get is again beyond the industry market standards. That's what they've announced. I don't know how much there's truth in this, but that's the fact that they've already announced that. They said that severance package is above market standards. And then there were also questions that how long will this RIF, which is reduction in force, will continue. And then they've said that they will continue to reduce the workforce throughout the year. They don't have a particular number that I'm going to reduce some 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. No, they don't have a number as the key. They said that this is a constant process and they're trying to improve, right? Of course, they have a marginal. It's close to about $7 billion company, but their profits in the last few quarters have reduced very marginally. That's still a big number, but it's a marginal number for them. But important thing to note is that people who are working in TCS, right, if you are in an underperforming category, I would suggest that please look out for jobs outside the company as soon as possible, or start working on a training program using the number of courses available. Start working on training program. Think of cloud, think of software as a service, think of those sites, right? Think of ERM solutions, think of cybersecurity, think of Tableau, dashboards, reporting, Power BI. These are the areas which can easily get you jobs, right? So people working in these companies, try to upgrade your skills there, especially if you're underperforming. People who are actually performing like at a satisfactory and above satisfactory level, yes, you kind of are in a safe zone, which is what that rating is all about, right? But but always keep your calm and look out for opportunities that come in your way, right? With that, that's my take on what's happening, right? Three separate events, but one is laying off, one is not so good news. But the reasons that they provided is actually good. Is that they tried before TCS said that, and before they tried to lay off the employees, right? And they tried to see if these people can fit into other roles. But there is, of course, there's all this news in the media that that it did not do that for all the employees, only for certain employees that's done it. But for the others, they did not do it. Did not give them options, or did not ask them to actually look out for how many, if there are any open positions within the company, like to do the IJPs and all that. But ultimately, it has laid off like about 20,000 employees. It's not so good news. But the other good news that is that semiconductor business is going in India. And if you are an entrepreneur, and if you want to contribute to the growing semiconductor business in India, please start something, because there is already a $10 billion initiative that is announced by the government of India. If you are willing to start a semiconductor business or in any format, right, and you're going to contribute to the economy of the country, then yes, there is a lot of cushioning, a financial cushioning and funding that is being provided by the government of India, right? So that's happening right now. There are about 10 major projects that are under development that's just going to happen in the semiconductor industry space of India. So that's the good news there. With that, I'll take leave here. And if you like the video, do subscribe to this particular channel. Do like this video, right? I'll be back with more interesting updates. With that, I take leave. See you.